Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Miracle Network's Wednesday meditation gathering. So glad you're all here together. And meditation gathers energy and strength when we meditate together. And this week we have Kenny Mammarella-D'Cruz, who will lead us in meditation, and then we'll have 20 minutes of silence. And after that, we'll open it up for sharing, and we'll end approximately 10:45. Over to you, Kenny.
Thank you. So I have chosen, especially in these times of what on earth is going on, the truth behind delusions. So the truth behind delusions, you will attack what does not satisfy, and thus you will not see you made it up. You always fight illusions, for the truth behind them is so lovely and so still in loving gentleness. You were aware of it, you would forget defensiveness entirely and rush to its embrace. The truth could never be attacked, and this you knew when you made idols. They were made that this might be forgotten. You attack but false ideas, and never truthful ones. All idols are the false ideas you made to fill the gap you think arose between yourself and what is true. And you attack them for the things you think they represent. What lies behind them cannot be attacked. The wearying, dissatisfying gods you made are blown up children's toys. A child is frightened when a wooden head springs up as a closed box is opened suddenly, or when a soft and silent woolly bear begins to squeak as he takes hold of it. The rules he made for boxes and for bears have failed him and have broken his control of what surrounds him. And he is afraid because he thought the rules protected him. Now must he learn the boxes and the bears did not deceive him, broke no rules, nor mean his world is made chaotic and unsafe. He was mistaken. He misunderstood what made him feel safe and thought that it had left. The gap that is not there is filled with toys in countless forms, and each one seems to break the rules you set for it. It never was the thing you thought. It must appear to break your rules for safety, since the rules were wrong. But you are not endangered. You can laugh at popping heads and squeaking toys, as does the child who learns they are no threat to him. Yet while he likes to play with them, he still perceives them as obeying rules he made for his enjoyment. So there still are rules which they can seem to break and frighten him. Yet is he at the mercy of his toys? And can they represent a threat to him? Reality observes the laws of God and not the rules you set. It is his laws that guarantee your safety. All illusions that you believe about yourself obey no laws. They seem to dance a little while according to the rules you set for them, but then they fall and cannot rise again. They are but toys, my child, so do not grieve for them. Their dancing never brought you joy, but neither were they things to frighten you, nor make you safe if they obeyed your rules. They must be neither cherished nor attacked, but merely looked upon as children's toys without a single meaning of their own. See one in them, and you will see them all. See none in them, and they will touch you not. Appearances deceive because they are appearances and not reality. Dwell not on them in any form. They but obscure reality, and they bring fear because they hide the truth. Do not attack what you have made to let you be deceived, for thus you prove that you have been deceived. Attack has power to make illusions real, yet what it makes is nothing. Who could be made fearful by a power that can have no real effects at all? What could it be but an illusion, making things appear like to itself? Look calmly at its toys, and understand that they are idols, which but dance to vain desires. Give them not your worship, for they are not there. Yet this is equally forgotten in attack. God's Son needs no defense against his dreams. His idols do not threaten him at all. His one mistake is that he thinks them real. What can the power of illusion do? Appearances can but deceive the mind that wants to be deceived, and you can make a simple choice that will forever place you far beyond deception. You need not concern yourself with how this will be done, for this you cannot understand. But you will understand that mighty changes have been quickly brought about when you decide one very simple thing. You do not want whatever you believe an idol gives. For thus the Son of God declares that he is free of idols, and thus he is free.
Open your eyes slowly and go back into the room. We have about 20 minutes left for sharing your comments and your questions. If you'd like to speak, raise your hand or use the reactions button at the bottom of the screen, and I'll invite you to take yourself off of mute. If you'd like to ask Kenny a question with confidentiality, put your message in the chat function at the bottom of the screen, and I'll read it out. Who'd like to share?
There is a line further in the passage that says, "And even in illusions, it that asks forgiveness be the substitute for fear." Didn't get that far down the passage, but what a beautiful line.
Kenny, have you had idols that you've let go of in your life? And are you still working on it?
Do you know the reason this is such a touching passage for me is it's twofold. One is, I guess, quite a disturbing story for some, where my family were on the death list in Uganda. The Secret Service were after us. And we were at the airport, and there were a lot of beatings and lootings and a lot of nasty things going on. And my father wasn't with us. He was left. He got smuggled out to Italy. And my mother couldn't, I was 7, my brother was 5. My mother could not open a suitcase. And the soldiers were generally enraged and doing what they wanted, apparently high on drugs. And she was petrified that, the butt of the rifle or something. He ended up breaking the suitcase open, which was a relief. And then there was a box, and one of our closest family friends didn't know what to give us. We didn't know if we'd see each other again. And it was a Jack in the Box, exactly as in this passage. And that could have been the end of our lives. If that shocked him and he got angry, then who knows what might happen. So this was make or break. And when he opened the suitcase, because as I said earlier, we were a Catholic family, so we had rosaries and I think there was a Saint Anthony or something in there. And then he opened that and he just burst out laughing, and he said, "You Goans are a very peculiar type of people." And they liked the Goans. And a lot of the Africans were Christian as well. So it could have really made or broken us. And it was so incredibly scary. And I guess from then, the idol, or maybe what I was looking for, was someone is going to save us. And maybe as an ex-Catholic, it would be some miracle or some saint or Jesus or whatever. And then it was my father if he survived. And so it went on. There was always someone is going to save us. And I didn't realize how at the back of my mind, for so much of my life, I was still stuck in the trauma that I never felt and never moved past, waiting for someone to save us. Probably, I'm 57 now, probably somewhere in my 40s, I realized that I was waiting for my father from Africa, not my father, who's the same guy, to show up, still looking young and dapper, and saying, "Oh, sorry, I just got distracted. We can all go home and carry on now." There's a strange lost in time or in limbo with things. And I think a lot of my work is meeting people in those places and just being there and feeling that, not hovering over and surviving it and not surviving life, but feeling into it, feeling through it, and setting ourselves free. And I believe that the things that come up in life, and it's certainly been the case since lockdown, is people have been triggered. I was triggered 2 or 3 days before lockdown. I went into isolation because someone had the symptoms. And I kept looking out of the window expecting to see the military. and feeling that I was in the silence between the gunfire. And I had my feelings. Thankfully, I realized I was triggered. So I didn't lash out on other people, and I didn't lash in on myself with obsessive thinking or bad habits or anything. And then when we went on lockdown, on that day, I started daily lunchtime check-in groups so people could speak out what's going on and learn to follow the feeling back to what's being triggered and be aware of themselves and take care of themselves rather than lashing out or lashing in or believing the fears and fantasies in the mind. So I think being with you today, being in this meditation and really feeling myself and feeling connected with you all, what a safe place to have these, to observe these thoughts and feelings go by, to be with myself and be with you and drop into the depth of it. It's magical.
Oh, thank you, Kenny. That was wonderful. Who'd like to share? Raise your hand. Yoji, take yourself. That's it. Oh, hold on. There you go. Take yourself off. There you go.
Hi everyone, and hi Kenny. Thank you for today's meditation.
Pleasure.
My friend has a disease, and brain disease, and tomorrow he has a big operation. And today I am a little nervous, and so today I'm very happy to be here with you. And my question is, how does A Course in Miracles say about disease?
Wow. Would anyone like to say anything to that with their own relationships to health, disease, and what you believe A Course in Miracles says about it? It's a very difficult one to navigate for me, because I believe, on one hand, I believe at some level God is trying to speak to me all the time in the signs and the clues and everything around me, especially in including my own health. And it's up to me to remember that part of me is Columbo, and it's up to me to notice the clues and to look for more clues and maybe to feel into what's going on and maybe see what is this about? What am I feeling? As far as A Course in Miracles is concerned, what I understand, and we touched on this earlier when we were talking about time, it's all an illusion. This is so not an illusion. This is what could be more real than an operation like this tomorrow? And the first thing that I felt when I heard you speak was love for this guy with whatever it is he needs to feel, whatever it is he needs to fear, whatever it is he's going through, whatever his journey might be, before, during, and after this. And I guess I break most things in my life down into, am I coming from love or am I coming from fear? And as soon as I try to figure things out or fix them, I know that I've left and I've gone into my body and I've gone into what's right, what's wrong, how do I do this right, what's wrong with me, how do I perform, and I've disconnected from love. And all I can do, I feel, with my life is connect with love, be the love, share the love. And if that means I can do something practical like this or the groups or support someone or something in whatever way that I can, then that's what Peter Caddy from the Fintorn Foundation called love into action. So I'm not 100% sure what the Course in Miracles would say about something like this. I guess all I have is my own relationship to it. Can anyone quote a passage or a verse to throw light on this? Loving your wow and place of not knowing in answer to that question. I thought you were going to give me an answer and you just blew me away with that, Catherine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And sending love to your friend.
Angela, would you like to take yourself off of mute?
Hi. I just wanted to add a little comment to how Kenny answered it very well, really. I just had a thought that when the Course talks about illusion, of course, illusion in the ultimate sense, including bodies, everything material, everything that's not spirit, ultimately, it means it's not true, it's not there. But when we're speaking of our experiences in the world, illusion means really, in Course terms, that it doesn't last. Anything that's not of God doesn't last, and that's what the illusion is. So that's all of us. Everything we experience, everything we think with our body, mind, everything that doesn't last means illusion. So it's not to dismiss somebody's experience of illness and saying, oh well, you know, it's sickness is a defense against the truth, and many quotes from A Course in Miracles. It's not to dismiss that by saying it's not there, it's not real, because we are in a version of reality with a small r, and not our ultimate reality, but everything feels very real. And the Course does say that the illusion is as powerful in its effects as is the truth. So we experience a version of reality and all of these human experiences. And I think to honor them, as more or less you were saying, Kenny, to honor our human experience and be kind and compassionate and do the best we can, and forgive everything. Forgiveness in the true sense, that is, what's happening in my perception isn't actually what's happening. So always handing every thought, every fear thought, every doubt, every joy even, over to Holy Spirit, to that place within, and just be with it. As you said, Kenny, you can only be with how you feel and hand it over and be open and allow grace to come in to help us through it, because we are having this human experience. And the way we can bring A Course in Miracles into it is forgive everything, forgive all our thoughts, and allow ourselves to be whatever we are, because that's how it starts. Don't judge ourselves. We're feeling fearful or worried, we'll be sick, be ill, have an operation. Just accept and allow, really. And I think peace comes to the mind through that, allowing everything to be there and Holy Spirit to be with us in it. I just wanted to comment there.
Beautiful, Angela. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Angela. Vivian, would you like to comment? Take yourself off of mute.
Hi. I think what I do in cases like that is send thoughts to the person who's having the operation or who is ill or is in distress. You are not a body. You are healed, complete and whole. You are as God created you. So that is just my participation in the truth for that person in their time of suffering, apparent suffering.
Thank you, Vivian. Do you know, I feel that I have the luxury of, when I remember, the power to choose my relationship to everything all the time. And I can choose to give energy to the things I'm fearful of and let them take me over. I can choose to observe them pass. I can choose to not give them energy and maybe give energy to whatever might be beyond the operation, for example, or whatever it is that's going on in my mind. And I ask myself, as I said earlier, am I coming from love or am I coming from fear? Another thing that I often notice for myself is, am I giving love to the things that I want to grow, or am I giving love to the things that I want to go? And so many people I find just feed the things they want to go, and obsess and try and fix them, or not accept. And for me, acceptance is the first step. Accept what is, and then choose to breathe and get out of my head and into my body, and let it pass. And I believe I pretty much create my reality within certain confines, but I can so create my reality. And the madness and the vulnerability and the magic of it is, if I'm retaining control and trying to fix things, then I'm going to create Groundhog Day, because I know how to survive that. But if I am accepting and with what is, and having no idea what might happen next, then bigger things show up. And it's up to me whether I respond to them with curiosity and decide to move forward with them, or react to them with fear and go back into the same old. That's not to say that every coincidence is a sign for something big and wonderful. It might be a temptation to check where I am and to check what I can take. Holy Spirit, can he take this? Let's test and see what he can take. That's where he is. Then we'll treat him this way and lead him forward. So that's, I guess, that's my dance with Holy Spirit.
Who'd like to ask a question or make a comment? Raise your hand. Jim.
Yes, I'll be quick because we're quite near the end. But I think Kenny has explained everything so beautifully. I mean, it's amazing what he said, and also the verse he chose. The only comment that came up for me was this verse of illness is a defense against the truth, and sounds rather harsh. And certainly nothing that would ever be said to anybody who's ill. But if I'm going through some illness or a recent operation I have to have, I just say to myself, well, yes, it's the ego's defense. It's not my defense. I'm not the ego. The ego's defense against the truth is illness, not mine. And then that means I don't end up beating myself up for being ill, which is the last thing to do. And the question was, can you let me know, can you remind me what the verse was you read for, or the chapter you read for us, please?
Let's see. Where are we? Chapter 30, page 633, verse 4, the truth behind delusions.
Thank you very much, Kenny, for a wonderful meditation. Thank you.
And you know, you've reminded me of something. When I've had to have, I don't know, a knee operation or whatever it is, it's an experience that I had. The tragedies, the pain, they are experiences that I have had. The thought of them could be really scary, that these are experiences that I've had, and I could judge them as good, bad, or ugly, but maybe they're all good. Maybe they're all part of my experience. Maybe I didn't know how to be a good enough Columbo when the whisper was given, and I had to have something thrown at me loud and clear. And no way am I saying this about your friend Yogi. I think we're all on very different paths with maybe different purposes, different experiences, different whatever it is. But yeah, it would be ridiculous for me to judge something as good or bad or right and wrong. I have so learned through pain. Can't say it's been, you know, a great party to go to. Pain has been my teacher. Skipping through fields of daisies, I haven't learned that much.
Well, thank you, Kenny. That was wonderful. What a great way to start the day. And take yourself off of mute and show your appreciation to Kenny.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jenny.
My
Thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Good to hang out with you all again.
Thank you so much.